Hello, I'm not really sure how I should lead into this video, so I guess I'm just gonna do it this way. I well, I came out and camped overnight, and I just really wanted to get out and sit by a campfire because I hadn't done that in quite a few months now. So I left after I got off work and got stuff together and got food and stuff Friday night, and by the time I got out here, the sun had gone down and had just a little bit of light left. So I got my tent set up and everything, and I cooked pizza in my Outback Oven last night. It's worked out pretty well. I made a Hawaiian pizza, I guess, with a pizza with Canadian bacon and pineapple on it. It was really good. And I know that, some people think that you can't put pineapple on pizza, but whatever, I'm not one of them. I think it tastes good. But just being dark and everything, I did break out the camera last night, really. So, sorry for that. But anyway, it's the morning, and it rained last night. So I'm not sure what's left of the fire out there. Yeah, I camped in a tent for the first time in quite a few months. I did kind of want to try out, my Thermrest X Therm again, and it does provide you a good, comfortable night's sleep. It's thick enough and warm enough. Yeah, I know it seems a little silly to use a stove to heat water for coffee when I have a fire, but this is just what I brought. I didn't bring I didn't really bring a pot suitable for putting over the fire. And besides, this fuel canister is about empty, so I just kind of want to use it up, get rid of it. On my last trip to Colorado, I tried out some of these Starbucks Via Instant and also the Alpine Start brand. That's actually from Colorado, and I was pretty happy with them. They don't have that nasty, well, maybe I shouldn't say nasty, but they don't have that funky instant coffee taste to them. I actually think this is, apparently, it's not really as much instant coffee as it is. Well, I guess it says ingredients: instant and micro ground coffee. So I knew it had some micro ground coffee, which I guess is just really, really finely ground coffee. But I guess they do say it has instant in it also. But it does not have that same weird instant coffee taste. For years now, I used those Folgers singles. When it came to, like when I went backpacking and stuff like that, times when I was going to go out and I didn't want to, take coffee grounds and coffee filters and like a pour over funnel or something like that. and or a coffee pot. So back in May, when I went on the Elk River Trail, I took those with me and used them. So I had some, still had some at home, and when I was getting ready for my Colorado trip, I was just kind of playing with some stuff one day and decided to, I was playing with my little cook set actually, and I decided to just heat up some water and make one of those cups of coffee. And after I drank it, I had this, like, I can only describe it as this weird chemically sort of taste on my tongue. It's almost like my tongue had touched some sort of weird chemical stuff or something. It had this feeling that just took a long time to go away. And at first I thought I, had like licked something I shouldn't have or whatever, because I was messing with making a little cozy for my pot, and I thought, and I made a little one for my the little plastic cup that goes with that cook set. So I thought maybe my lips had touched that and it had some sort of chemical on it. Well, it turned out that's not where it came from. Apparently it came from that Folgers coffee, the little Folgers singles, and that really turned me off on those things in a big way. I really thought, well, maybe I'll look into some other alternatives. So I got some of the Alpine Start, I got some of the Starbucks Via, and they're pretty decent. Yeah, this is the Starbucks Via Colombian, and I like it. It has a good flavor for being, an instant coffee, even if it's not, not technically classic instant coffee. I also, in Colorado, I had some of the Starbucks Via Italian Roast, I think it's called. That was good. The Alpine Start that I had was just the regular one. Can't remember exactly what it's called, but they have some different options. They have some ones that have like creamer mixed in with it and that sort of thing, which sounded good, but I didn't get any of those. But anyway, I think comparatively speaking, the Starbucks Vias are have a little stronger flavor to them, which I like. The Alpine Start had a good rich flavor, but it wasn't quite as quite a dark roast. It's more of kind of a medium roast flavor to it. So if that's what you like, if you like more of a medium roast and that was quite of a dark roast, that's probably, you might really like those. I liked them, but I like me some good dark coffee too. So I think, at least from the prices I saw, I bought my Alpine Start off of Amazon, and it was a bit more expensive. But if you're going out on a trip, especially if you're going out on a trip, a backpacking trip or anything, when you want some decent coffee, and you don't buy it all the time, why not spend a few extra bucks or whatever and get something that's decent? I really love the name of the Alpine Start coffee though, because just brings back memories of back when I climbed more mountains. If you don't know what an Alpine Start is, what that refers to is in mountaineering circles, oftentimes when you go to get to the top of a mountain, get to the summit, a lot of times climbers leave very, very early in the morning because, for one thing, like out in like the western United States, especially at Colorado, in the summer there's usually thunderstorms that roll in the around noon or the early afternoon. So if you get a really early start, it allows you to get up to the top of the mountain and then back down before the bad weather rolls in. And on other mountains, probably like in the Alps, for example, where the term technically comes from, the early morning, early in the day, the temperatures are cooler, so the ice and the snow is firmer and frozen. You have there's fewer rocks that are going to thaw out from the ice that's holding them together and fall on you, stuff like that. So traditionally climbers have gotten early starts, and we're talking, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. I've climbed Long's Peak. I don't know, the last time I got going at maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's a very early start. Other mountains kind of similar, but maybe not quite as early. But definitely you're going by like 4 in the morning. Mount Everest is pretty similar. I think they get going at like 1 or 2 in the morning when they go for the top of that one. The people that still want to climb that mountain. I'm just kind of blown away at these stories you hear about so many of these people that want to climb Everest and these traffic jams they have up on those fixed ropes. It's just nuts. But anyway, I digress. Try not to be too rambling. Yeah, as I was packing for this trip, I noticed that. Okay, let me back up here a second. When I was getting ready for my Colorado trip, I'm not going to lie, I was watching a lot of lighter weight, maybe not true ultralight, but kind of ultralight, lighter weight, backpacking type videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of Homemade Wanderlust's videos. Dixie has through hiked all 3 of the big trails in the United States: the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail. Darwin on the Trail, I watched a lot of his videos, and I think he's done the AT and the PCT, and at least parts of, I think, the CDT, if not the whole thing. And he's also done a lot of other through hikes on other trails. But anyway, these through hikers, what they have to pack in a lightweight manner that allows them to basically hike many miles, with what's on their back. And the reason I was watching those videos is that over the years, when I have gone backpacking, I have wound up carrying packs that were very heavy. I don't know exact weights because I never weighed them because I didn't have a scale back then, but it always just seemed like my packs weighed a ton. It was really laborious to haul those things up trail, or sometimes not even trail, like crashing, going through, post-holing through, knee or thigh deep melting snow up in Colorado with a heavy pack on, trying to get up to some alpine lake so I could climb mountains, stuff like that. It wasn't fun. Now I have to say that some of that was kind of unavoidable because I had to carry mountaineering gear. Like that one trip, like post-holing through all the snow, I had, at the very least, I had with me ice axe, crampons, probably a climbing helmet. I was by myself, but so I didn't have rope, stuff like that. But I did have extra weight for some of that stuff, and that's unavoidable. Climbers are some pretty hardcore backpackers because they carry so much extra weight, especially when you talk about rope. Rope is heavy, and carrying that miles in the wilderness is not fun. But anyway, it always just seemed like no matter what kind of trip I was doing, I was always just lugging heavy packs. And last year, when I went out to Colorado and I did my Alone in the Elk Range 10-item wilderness survival challenge, that pack weighed, I don't even know what it weighed, but it was extremely heavy. I think that pack was probably maybe 80-90 pounds. Not really sure, but it was extremely heavy. And I had stuff with me like a big poly tarp, a saw, an axe, a bear canister, a knife that that weighed more than, you know, I had my Condor bush lore knife, just a whole bunch of things. And in camera equipment, I had my full-blown camera setup, tripod, microphone, all that stuff, extra batteries, all sorts of stuff. So that pack, even though it was a, you know, simple 10 items, and my clothing, I had like a Carhartt jacket, all sorts of stuff. That pack weighed a ton, and it really sucked carrying that pack up the trail, up to the lake where I did that challenge. And anyway, after I got done with that, well, I took a little break, you know, hanging out with elk hunters and outfitters and hanging out in Aspen for a day or whatever. And then I, to close out the wilderness part of that trip, I went to Conundrum Hot Springs for the first time. And that time, I still remember when I got my pack packed out in the trailhead parking lot, and I picked it up to put it on, because I was carrying much simpler backpacking gear. And also I made a conscious effort to cut weight even then. I remember I picked that pack up and I felt like I was in heaven, because it was so much lighter feeling than definitely the Alone in the Elk Range pack weighed. But I honestly felt, and it was probably true, that was probably about the lightest overnight like backpacking pack weight that I had ever had. And it was just, I was blown away. So anyway, this time when I was going to go out and do a couple different backpacking trips, I wanted to take some steps to get my pack weight down. And so anyway, I started watching a lot of videos about you know, lighter weight backpacking, that sort of stuff, and gear choices and things like that. Not that I really wanted to start spending a whole bunch of money on more gear on top of all the gear I already have. But and yeah, a lot of those videos, especially Darwin on the Trail and Dixie with Homemade Wanderlust, you know, they're through hikers. That's not, I mean, honestly, I would love to be able to you know, through hike one of those trails. I think it would be an amazing experience. But sadly, you know, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. And maybe do some section hikes or something someday. But you know, I kind of have to work to make money to pay bills, and I can't take off for I don't know how many months it takes to hike one of those trails. But anyway, you know, so I found some places here and there where I could save some weight. I made some gear purchases that allowed me to save some weight. But anyway, this trip, when I was trying to decide if I should come out and where I should go, and finally got to where I was packing my pack, I felt it kind of hard to, now that I had put so much thought into kind of a lightweight backpacking system, there's a beauty to that, because it's this system where everything you really need you have on your back in this backpack, and it doesn't weigh a whole lot. You know, there's weight to it, but it doesn't weigh too much. It's simple. You don't take a bunch of junk that you're not going to use. There's a beauty to it. It's hard to explain until you've kind of messed with that sort of setup and used it. But there's a simple, simplistic beauty to it. And when I was thinking about what I should bring out here, it was hard for me to. I knew my lightweight system. All I needed to do was just throw that stuff in my pack and I'd be set. But there were some things I wanted to do, like food I was going to cook. I didn't really want to cook dehydrated meals or freeze-dried meals, because they'd cost somewhat more anyway. Of course, everything I bought to make the pizza, after I added that up, a Mountain House meal probably would have been cheaper. In all honesty, may have been fewer calories too. But anyway, You know, I kind of wound up bringing a very backpacking flavored, shall we say, kit with some extra stuff thrown in, like Outback Oven and, you know, some other things. I finally got everything packed up, so I suppose it's time for me to ramble on out of here and eventually find my way home. It was a good night to get out. Got to sit by a campfire, which had been wanting to do because I hadn't done it for I don't know how many months. So I got to do that. Got to spend a nice night in the tent with a little bit of rain on it, which was kind of nice. So yeah, you know, it's always good to get out because you know, you probably won't remember some random night you just happened to stay home and watch TV or whatever, even read a good book. But you're more likely to remember a good night out camping by a campfire. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. That way you can see the new stuff that I have coming out. Share this video with somebody if you think they might enjoy it for some reason. And this is Gareth with Mountaincoffee Outdoors. I will see you next time. Hey, you can even share this video with somebody even if you don't think they would like it. Why not? And from my secret fortified compound hidden somewhere in the Flint Hills of Kansas, this is Gareth with Mountaincoffee Outdoors. See you next time.